There's a lot of different types of Thomas merchandise over the decades the little blue engine has been on the screen. A lot of people of all age groups purchase different types of Thomas products. Some are good, some are nostalgic, and some are very odd looking. Thomas merchandise today is very hit or miss today in my opinion. Trackmaster and Take and Play, Adventures, has lost all value to me, and hasn't been good since Mattel took over. But the new Thomas Wood stuff doesn't look that bad in my opinion. One company who still makes Thomas models today, Bachmann, who is making great models in the 009 and 00 scale range, has recently introduced their N-Scale Thomas range, which has potential to be one of their best products. But before Bachmann announced their N-Scale range, there was another company making Thomas N-Scale products. Tomix is a model train company owned by Tomix. They primarily work in N-Scale, and in 1998 they started releasing N-Scale Thomas models. Let's take a look at them in the order that they were released. Okay, let's start off the Tomix reviews with reviewing Thomas first. The appearance is very good. The face is very accurate to the classic Thomas the Tank Engine face used in all of the model series. Everything on this model from wheels to cab are very accurate to the Thomas the Tank Engine model used in the television series. If I had to be picky with this model, I would say that there are no lamp irons put on the footplate here. The reason why I'm complaining about that is because there's a lamp, so ideally there would be lamp irons with the lamp. Also, I do not like the whistles being yellow. I think it would be better if they were gold. The only other complaint I could think of is the front coupling hook here, which there is no coupling hook on the buffer beam. On the back, there is a coupling hook, but on the front there is not. This is to accommodate the N-scale coupling hook. All the colors on this model, from the blue to the red to the white footplate, which Mattel for some reason never does with any of their models nowadays, is very accurate and very nicely done, and I'm quite pleased with this model in general. Okay, now let's take a look at his two faithful coaches, Annie and Clarabel. Now here we have the Tomix Annie and Clarabel, and again, very well nicely done and very well detailed, and very accurate to the model series versions of these characters. The looks from the faces, all around, look very accurate to the coaches used in Season 1 in general. When I look at these coaches, I think of Season 1. Maybe it's because of the colors, because in Season 1, it is notorious for Annie and Clarabel that they had white roofs and all black chassis. The expressions on Annie and Clarabel here are the same expressions that are practically used on all the merchandising for Annie and Clarabel. Annie usually has this shocked expression. Clarabel usually has the more normal expression. Overall, I am very impressed with these models, and I'm very, very impressed that they went the extra mile and added the baggage compartment. The reason why I emphasize the baggage compartment on Clarabel is because you never see it in any other pieces of Thomas merchandising. Usually it's on the Japanese pieces of merchandising, as they want to be extremely accurate to the models on the show. Overall, wonderfully done. I'm very impressed. Very good. Okay, now let's look at James the Red Engine. So here is James the Red Engine in Tomix form. The face is very accurate, and I really like how they use this smug James face rather than the cheese face, as I feel like this face sums up James's personality better than the other face. James also has a gold whistle, which is not seen on Thomas, which is kind of weird, but overall, nonetheless, James has a gold dome, gold whistles, very nicely done. The only complaints I can see on this model is no lamps or lamp irons, and the buffers are entirely black instead of the heads just being black, similar to the Bachmann duck. Everything on this model is very well done, and I am very, very, very impressed by it. Well done. Now let's take a look at the Troublesome Trucks he comes with. So here are the Troublesome Trucks that James comes with. Very appropriate that James comes with Troublesome Trucks, as Troublesome Trucks are the reason why James has his accidents most of the time. Instead of the regular box vans, they instead went the extra mile and went with the LBSCR box van, which is very different from other manufacturers using just the regular box vans that you see, like the GWR one, for example. These Troublesome Trucks are very accurate to the 10mm kits that the show used on the show, which is very, very, very good. The faces are very, very entertaining to look at. I quite like the box van the most, as it is the one that is used in the classic series the most, along with the one on the right, which again is a very entertaining face to look at. Unlike other manufacturers, Tomix went the extra mile and added planking to the inside of the truck, which is something, again, you don't see that often in Thomas merchandise. Now, if I had to be picky with these models, I would say that the van should be brown, as I remember it more for being brown instead of this gray color similar to the gray Troublesome truck here. But other than that, these trucks are very fun and very nice. I am very pleased with them. Well done, Tomix. Now here are the 2 expansion packs that you can get along with the James model that came out with these packs. You have Scruffy and a Troublesome van, and a Sodor fuel tanker and a Troublesome truck. Both packs are very good and very well done. Scruffy, the king of the trucks, is kind of a staple in Thomas merchandise, as he's pretty easy to do. In Bachmann, they've made him in every single scale, from large scale to end scale. So again, he's pretty much a staple when it comes to merchandising, as he is very easy to make. All he is just a new faceplate with the same mold of a Troublesome truck. Very nicely done. I like that they went with a more distinctive route with giving him the rotten wood and rusty frames. And the lettering in general is just very good. I quite like this. very nice. The van that he comes with is pretty much the same van that comes with James. So, not much to write home about here. So here's the fuel tanker. Now when it comes to the fuel tanker, you only really need one of them if you're going by the classic series. There was only one of them made, so if you just need one, this is the one to go with. But overall, a very nice model. If Tomix kept going further beyond, I have a feeling that they would use the molding of this fuel tanker for other pieces such as the tar or the milk tankers, as I see them doing the same things that Bachmann does, which is recolor all their rolling stock for new releases. Overall though, I'm very happy with it, and I'm quite pleased. And here's the other Troublesome truck that comes with it. Now, unlike the Troublesome van here, this is a different Troublesome truck from the one that comes with James. This is a different face to the one that you get in the James pack. It's the same model, just different face. And the face here, while very nicely done, is kind of inaccurate, because this Troublesome truck face was much bigger in the TV show compared to this one here. It's a little smaller, which is a bit of a shame. But again, very nicely detailed, and I quite like it though, all the same. Very good. Overall, these packs do not disappoint. I'm quite pleased with them. Okay, now let's look at Henry the Green Engine. Now here we have Henry the Green Engine. Now Henry is the rarest out of the 4, as he didn't get a re-release, so he was a little harder to find. But as I found him, I can say right now, overall the look is pretty good. The green is accurate, the shaping is accurate. They even went a step further and added the tender height, which Henry's tender is notorious for being taller than him, for whatever reason. They even added the generator, which is a Markland piece, I believe, and it is very accurate to that Markland piece that they used for Henry's tender, which I think is pretty funny. His face, again, is very accurate, and I'm quite pleased with it. In terms of any flaws with this model, again, no lamp irons. The whistle should be gold instead of yellow, and also he's missing a piece on his valve gear here. A piece that goes on top of the crankshaft here is missing on this model. But overall, the detailing, again, very nicely done. It's still accurate to the Henry model, and I'm quite impressed with it all the same. And I'm very happy with it. Now we have the Express Coach, which Henry comes with, which is modeled after the 1 to 5 Express Coaches. As Magic Railroad onward, the model was shortened for whatever reason. They even added the steps here on the front, and just in general, the colors and the shaping in general is just very nicely done. I'm quite happy with the detail that they put into this coach. Overall, this train pack, again, a big thumbs up from me. I quite like it. The expansion pack coach is basically the same as the coach in here, except this is a composite coach, not a brake coach. And again, the detailing on this coach is very well nicely done. I'm quite happy with it. All the detailing, in general, very nicely done. The last engine to look at out of the 4 is Percy the Small Engine. His appearance is pretty good. The face, out of all of the other faces, the face is pretty accurate to the one used on the television show. Again, I'm quite happy with the shaping of Percy here. In general, very nicely done. The valve gear looks a bit awkward, just a tad. And also, the motors in the cab, as you can see there, even though the cab is see-through, I don't know why they went the extra mile to make it see-through if you can't see through the cab that much, which is a little odd. Overall, I'm very happy with this model, and I'm quite pleased with it all the same. I'm pretty happy with it. Now let's take a look at all the expressions that he comes with. Here's his worried expression. Here's his shocked expression, which again, very accurate and very nice. And here's his angry expression, which is my favorite one out of the 3, as this is not normally the face that people associate Percy with when he's angry. There's a different face to this face that people associate Percy with when it comes to his angry expression. I believe this face was originally a confused expression from Season 2, but then got changed to an angry expression in Season 5, which I'm quite happy with. So here's the mail van that Percy comes with, which Percy is notorious for taking the mail train on Sodor. The only complaints I really have with this model is the fact the buffers are painted red instead of black like they should be. And also, in terms of the molding on this model, there should be planking detailing on it rather than just being a solid, piece. Which is a little odd that they went with this, as the plank wagons have the planking detailing, but this one was left bare, which is a bit unusual, but still a nice van. Overall, out of the 4, this is the one that impressed me the most, as the facial expressions, the whole set in general just describes Percy altogether. And I'm very, very, very happy with it, and I'm quite pleased. Here's the mail van from the expansion pack. It's pretty much the same thing from the Percy pack, so there's not much here to talk about. These models are very smooth and great fun to mix the trains together, making different types of trains that was seen on the show. They did make a few train sets as well. One with Thomas, Annie, and Clarabel, one with Thomas and a couple of trucks. A deluxe set which you can get Thomas, Annie, Clarabel, 3 buildings, and there was also a Percy set. If you can get any of these sets for good prices, I recommend getting them as they are extremely rare. There is a major problem with this range that a lot of people have addressed, and that is the scaling. These engines are too big for actual end scale, but smaller than 009. It's an odd middle area when it comes to scaling. There are two theories on why the reason these engines are scaled the way they are. Either end scale measurements are bigger in Japan than they are in America or in Europe, or these models are measured to the actual Gauge 1 models used on the TV series. But I'm not entirely sure. With all these engines in this range, there is one engine that was announced that was cancelled. Gordon the Big Engine was announced to be released but was cancelled for unknown reasons. It's actually surprising to me that Tomix, a Japanese company, would cancel a popular character like Gordon. I wonder if he would come with different faceplates just like Percy and would come with a green express coach rather than a red one like Henry. Unfortunately, after a while the Tomix range faded away, and for a while it was hard to get them for a decent price. Until in 2016 and 2017, Tomix brought back the Tomix Thomas & Friends range, with the engines now having CGI faces. Similar to Bachmann, the engines now have CGI faces, but the rolling stock kept their model series faces. Also, Henry did not get a re-release, making him the rarest out of the four. Taking a look at the faces, they were very well designed and they look the part in my opinion. Tomix also re-released the train sets, which included a standard Thomas set, a Percy set, and also Tomix released a Deluxe Tomix set, which I purchased. In the box, you get a stock standard Tomix Thomas pack. So yeah, looking at this Thomas, it's pretty much the same. Even down to the footstep being factory aired on. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. If we get out this Thomas, which is the other one, yeah, pretty much identical. I can't see any differences. Can you guys see any? Because I can't. Next in the box, you get the Fine Track. Very well made and snaps together perfectly. Also, you get a track crossing, which you can put any of your road vehicles to go across. There is also a switch and a buffer stop, which look more American than British. Next, you get the windmill, which is a little bland, but well constructed. The wheel actually turns and it's very well painted. Next, you get the Farquhar station. Again, a little bland, but I do like the glazing that was installed. But it's a shame that you don't get the Farquhar sign or any of the maps on the wall. Last but not least, you get the windmill, which is very well painted and actually spins. While I say that these pieces are very bland, they are very appropriate for a set involving Thomas. Thomas in the series was always known for puffing by or stopping by these buildings. Now let's put Thomas and Clarabel on the tracks and see how Thomas runs. On another note, interesting enough, Percy and James have some new moldings, which is interesting. Percy's model now has a different motor and the steps are now underneath the running plate rather than next to the running plate. James now has a new block underneath the running plate which restricts his bogie truck from moving around as much. This brings a problem as James derails on the train set half the time. The classic model runs on the layout perfectly fine, with no derailments. The original Thomas model has a problem running on this set as well, because of the coupling system not being the same as the new one. Now when it comes to Percy's model, even though Percy's model is a slight upgrade with the steps, his accessories are a downgrade. Instead of a mail car and 3 faces, we just get Scruffy. No disrespect to the Tomix Scruffy, it's a great model, but it's such a downgrade compared to what we got before. On top of that, there has never been any interactions with Scruffy. The only time Percy and Scruffy were together was in Toad Stands By and in Pert Upon Percy, where Percy shunted the trucks and Scruffy's face was randomly on one of the trucks. But I guess they added Percy with them because Percy has a history with Troublesome Trucks, and Scruffy is a very good recolor. Even though the Tomix Thomas & Friends range has its faults, it's still a very strong range and has so much potential. It was cut off way too early in my opinion. All the engines have great representations to the engines on the show and are almost identical to the Gauge 1 models used on the show. I would have loved to have seen Gordon or characters like Edward and Toby come into the range. What do you guys think of the Tomix range? What would you have liked to have seen in this range? Thank you for watching. Please take care of yourselves and each other.